During World War II, the German occupation of Polish lands differed from that of countries such as France and Belgium. The fate of Polish citizens was tragic. The Jewish population of the Polish social, political, and cultural elites, as well as the Catholic clergy, were exposed to special repression from the beginning of the war. From the first days, the Germans murdered, terrorized, and robbed the civilian population. Jews were locked up in ghettos. People were imprisoned in labor camps. They were deported to forced labor, and in later years, they were murdered en masse in extermination camps. Average Poles had to fight for survival not only during military operations. During the occupation, the Germans organized roundups on streets. They shot any who were captured or sent them to camps. They leveled entire villages to the ground after murdering the civilian population. The Poles, like Jews, were a nation to be annihilated. Poles were also exterminated in extermination camps. The civilian population lived in a sense of constant danger, trying to survive, provide shelter and food for their families. Despite such harsh living conditions, as many as 80,000 to 300,000 Poles may have been involved in saving Jews. The exact figures are not known. Historians present various estimates. Helping Jews in occupied Poland was a heroic act, and this was because it was punishable by death by the Germans. In some countries, one could be punished for such help with, for example, a fine, while Poles were punished with death even if they only knew about the Jews in hiding and did not inform the Germans. It is estimated that every individual saved had to rely on dozens of others in the chain of support. Poland never had a government that collaborated with Hitler. Instead, an underground state existed, a worldwide phenomenon. More than 500,000 of the 22 million Poles living in the occupied Polish territories were active in the structures of the underground state. The Polish underground state made it punishable by death to report to the Germans about the Jews in hiding. They also organized a systematic aid. The Council to Aid Jews, Żegota, was established. Its purpose was to rescue Jews and Poles of Jewish origin. It was thanks to the actions of the Polish underground state and the heroic attitude of Witold Pilecki that a notable report was written, which was the first to alert about the existence of German death camps and the systematic extermination of Jews. Despite the heroism of Polish courier Jan Karski, the report delivered to the Allies was discarded. The Poles fought in solitude. Given the scale of the aid given to the Jews by the Polish underground state and the Polish government in exile, it can be said with all responsibility that the purpose of the war waged by the Poles against the Germans also became an attempt to save the Jewish people from the Holocaust. Serious research into the fate of Poles who saved the Jews was not undertaken until after the fall of the Soviet Union, decades after World War II. This raises many difficulties for researchers, but the first results of the work are appearing. Preliminary estimates put the number of repressed Poles who helped Jews in the thousands. The vast majority were murdered. However, the number of repressed does not include children orphaned by the murder of their parents for helping Jews. And such cases were common. The fate of young orphans during the war is also as tragic. There are also documented examples of the murder of entire families, including small children. The most famous case of this kind of crime is the story of the Ulm family. The Germans discovered that the Ulm couple was hiding Jews. They were murdered in front of their children. And later, the Germans also executed 8-year-old Stasia, 6-year-old Basia, 5-year-old Włodzio, 4-year-old Franek, 3-year-old Antek, and 2-year-old Marysia. The Germans made sure that information about these crimes reached the Poles. This was used to intimidate the civilian population that was helping the Jews. Since 2016, Markowa, the hometown of Józef and Wiktoria Ulma, has been home to a museum dedicated to Poles who rescued the Jews during World War II. On the monument dedicated to the memory of the Ulm family are engraved the words, "While saving the lives of others, they sacrificed their own. Let their sacrifice be a call to respect and show love to every human being." The Ulm family has been commemorated with the title of Righteous Among the Nations, awarded by the State of Israel for selfless help given to Jews persecuted by Nazi Germany during World War II. Poles are the largest group among those honored with the title. The question is often raised as to why German extermination camps for Jews were established on occupied Polish soil. The answer is obvious. Pre-war Poland was home to the largest number of Jews in all of Europe. Jews spoke of Poland as Polin, which in their language means a place where you will rest. The Jewish diaspora in Poland grew over the centuries. Jews fled to the First Republic from repression from many European countries. Before the outbreak of World War II, some 3 million Jews lived in the Second Republic, the largest number in all of Europe. Poles most often helped the Jews because they knew them. After all, they had lived together in one country for many, many years. So they helped their acquaintances, friends, neighbors, although they often also helped people who were completely unknown. They helped by risking their lives and those of their loved ones. This is what makes them so unique and noble, constituting a model of humanity and becoming a source of pride for successive generations of Poles.